Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing another reading from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, and this is just going to be a message for those that are awakening for their truth. This is guidance from our ancestors, from our spirit team, just letting us know the steps that we're taking, if we're on the right path, how we can tell we're on the right path, and how to navigate going forward. Now, I have placed my camera in a different position, so you may see me struggling to find where it is at so I can make eye contact with y'all. But I am going to just pull a card from this deck as usual and give you my intuitive message and downloads from it. Today is Wednesday, March 30th, and I think that I'm going to try to get these videos uploaded on Wednesday just because it is a pretty powerful communication day for me, and I feel like I have a really good connection to source. I feel like my communication is on point, so hopefully I'll be putting the videos out on Wednesdays going forward so that I can have a more regular schedule both for y'all and for me. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope that if you're not doing well, you're finding ways to get through. And today's message is come to life. Can you give y'all a second to look at that? And what I really love about this card is how she is painting herself, right? You can see that she is gray and white, black. She's in a grayscale, meaning very void of color, void of vibrancy. And then she is taking the paintbrush and the pot that the monkey is holding, and she is painting herself back to color, painting herself back to life, come to life. So I really feel like this message is telling anybody who has really struggled with showing their true colors, really struggled with being their full self, their full expression, the embodiment of their soul, their true, authentic being. If you have hid yourself in any way, if you have really kept parts of yourself cut off from the world because you felt like you were going to be judged, you felt like you wouldn't be given the opportunities that you wanted if people really knew who you were. And I feel like we all have done that at some point in our lives. We all make the choice to, keep quiet versus speaking up for fear of retaliation or ostracization. There's all kinds of reasons why you may quiet and shut yourself down. The problem lies in if you get used to doing that, if that becomes your normal, eventually you are left with just a shell of a person, a shell of who you once were, because you're not being truthful in your expression. You're quieting your soul, you're quieting your spirit. And this is really going to be a message for anybody who has been doing that, who has been living quieter than feels natural, and it's probably building up to the point where you're at a very big crossroads. Like you can lose yourself completely and everything that makes you you if you continue to keep it hidden. It is time to bring all of those wonderful truths that you have, all of the wonderful traits and quirks and weird or spooky or strange, exotic behaviors, talents, looks, whatever it is that you have been hiding from everyone else. Now it is time to bring that back out. That is time. It is time to nourish that. And I want to say nourish because if you look on this card, you can see there is green grass growing behind her in the cracks, right? And I really actually love the symbolism of that because it's almost like that Jurassic Park quote, like life will find a way, right? I mean, because she's not sitting on a field of grass. She's sitting on black and white tile where things have been very this or that. And yet that fresh green growth, that fresh energy is still seeping through. So I feel like, with pulling this card, with it being spring, like now is the perfect time to feed into yourself, to feed and nourish all of those things that you've been hidden, that you have had, that you have hidden, all of the parts of you that you thought would be unloved or that would be unacceptable to others, it's time to paint yourself back to life by loving yourself, by nourishing those parts. Because if you can't love you, then somebody else is going to have the same apprehension and the same issues with your issues that you do, because people are a mirror to us. Okay? So come to life. Bring yourself back to life. Feed love and energy and time and patience and grace into yourself. Bring yourself back to your fullest expression, to your most authentic soul self. And I think this is a beautiful card, especially for the time of year that we are in, spring, when everything is growing, when everything is renewed, where everything is hopeful, right? The sun feels good, the fresh dew, like the morning air is crisp, and it's just full of potential and full of possibility. And that is exactly how you are. You are full of potential and full of possibility. And what you need to do to bring that out, to really actualize that and capitalize on that, is you need to love yourself and you need to nourish yourself. So if there is something that you have an interest in that you've always thought, oh, I can't do that, what would people think? Or, oh, I don't have time for that. Or, I'm not good enough to do that. Or, that would be nice, maybe one day. So like, if that has been your talk in the past, now is the time to say, now is the time, right? Now is the day. Now I'm going to take that chance. I am going to pursue that. I am going to try that. I am worthy of that. I am capable of doing that. And you know what? It may be something new and you may completely suck at it, but at least you're trying it, and you will know how you feel, regardless of what your outcome is. How you feel on the inside when you're doing it. If you feel that stirring of energy, if you feel that excitement, if you feel that vibrancy, if you feel that joy, that childlike wonder, if you feel that when you are doing something new, that is your cue to keep doing it. Because even if you're not good at it now, even if you're expecting an end goal, like a completed painting, right? Even if the first painting is complete shit and you would never show it, or you would never sell it, or you think it would never be purchased or admired in a museum, it is still so important that you enjoyed the process, right? Doing the action, creating that. If you feel good inside, if it moves you, and it fulfills this need for creativity or this need to express, then please continue doing it. And your paintings will get better. Maybe not overnight, but they'll get better, right? I mean, I think that we can all find a portion of our lives where we have had this struggle, where we have started something new, maybe because we had to, but it may turn into something that you enjoy. And if you go and do it and you're having a hard time just enjoying the act of doing because you have a negative mindset that keeps saying, oh, this sucks. Oh, you're no good. Oh, why are you even bothering with this? Oh, look at his or hers and it's so much better. And oh, they're going to laugh at you. If you have that type of negative self-talk, then there are things that you need to use to, there are tools that you need to gain so that you can empower yourself to turn off that talk. I, hands down, was the most critical person to myself. I used to always make jokes that were just so demeaning to myself. Like they were just so hateful. The things that my self-talk that I had grown up with and was on repeat in my brain, I said it in a very joking manner, even to myself, like I said it as a joke, but I still heard those words. I still heard the put down, the insults, the judgment that I was giving myself. And for a long time, it was very hard to be excited or hopeful about anything new that I would try, because was already putting myself down before, during, and after. And so eventually, what I had to learn to do was just take control of that talk. And if something pops into my head, if a doubt, if a worry or fear, something nagging at me pops into my head, I'll sit with it, I'll listen to it, I'll examine it. And then it's just like, okay, thank you for your input. Like, go over here. I don't have time for you right now. And that has been tremendous in um, not just cutting cold turkey, so to say, because even then, like when you fail at um, regulating your self talk, when you are not able to control that voice that's putting you down inside your own head, what happens is that voice then has more ammo. Like, see, you couldn't even do that right, right? So you just have to, and I don't mean cold turkey, like it's not easy if your habit is to always doubt yourself and tell yourself why you cannot accomplish things or why you are not worth a certain dream or why you should not pursue a goal. It's not like you can just one day go, okay, I'm never doing that again, because it's a habit, it's part of you, it's going to creep back in. So you have to really give yourself tools to work around that so that when it comes in, you can say, okay, I hear it. I'm putting you aside. I'll deal with you later. And that's an excellent way to start. The next thing is you can start changing the phrases that you are saying to yourself. And this is more of a gradual shift, but it does feel more natural because for me, for being having negative self talk and just always putting myself down, even as a joke, I couldn't immediately jump to you suck at this to you're the fucking most amazing artist ever. I could not make that jump because it felt fake. It felt forced. It did not feel genuine because I did not genuinely feel that. So I had to start adding in little like um, lifters basically. So anytime I would tell myself, man, you suck at this, I would immediately train myself to follow up with, but you're just learning, but you're just starting, but you'll get better, it'll get easier, like little things like that, which aren't so over the top positive, over the top optimistic that it feels fake, that it feels not genuine, right? I had to start with little things like, okay, that didn't go so well, but I'll do better the next time, and part of my issue was like people pleasing. I didn't want to disappoint other people, right? So then that feeling of letting someone else down, you know, and wanting to get their feedback on if I had disappointed them, but not wanting to get their feedback. Like I didn't want to ask for it, but I wanted it. And if I didn't get any feedback, to me, it was like easy to immediately go down to like, oh, well, you really sucked at that. And that was the worst ever. And of course, they don't like you and da 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 da. And I've had to deal with that recently in my more recent life with the stuff that I create and sell. Like, I pride myself on the fact that I have a 5-star rating on my Etsy, but I haven't had any items in my Etsy. I haven't had my Etsy open for over a year. And now that I'm opening it up, obviously you want 5 stars from every purchase, right? And if you don't get that, it's easy if you have a negative mindset or if you have that little nitpicky voice, it's easy if they don't leave a review at all for you to start saying, oh, they hated it. Oh, your shop sucks. Oh, you're not going to do well. It's easy to slip into that. So it's not something that always goes away. And I feel like that's because it is just an opportunity for us to get better and better at the things we overcome, right? The more you do it, the easier it is. The easier it is to notice it. You can spot it and go, I'm not dealing with that bullshit today. And that's what it is. Now I kind of feel I don't have an attachment on my reviews. I haven't gotten any negative reviews, knock on wood, but I also feel that's because I'm centered and present when I'm making the item. I have pure intentions. I don't try to swindle people. I offer, fair pricing, and I put my time and my commitment and my energy and excuse me, I send it off with good intentions. So it's not like I'm sending a shit product that I just wanted money for. Like these are creations that I put um, my time and effort and love into. So of course I want positive feedback from the people that purchase them. But if I don't get them, I'm not upset. I don't think that they don't like it. I don't think that they hate it. because if they had an issue, they could contact me. And that's just one way that I've had to kind of overcome that, is you have to be able to divert that thinking whenever it pops up, whenever it tries to take over. Um, and once you get really good at doing that, then it's so much easier to just be hopeful and optimistic, genuinely hopeful and optimistic and courageous about what you're doing. So if you have been hiding something like that, something, a talent, a hobby, a path, right? Maybe you've always wanted to put flowers together. Maybe you've always wanted to work at a flower shop, but you don't know how. You've never done it. There are so many ways you can get into that. And I think that if you are feeling doubtful that you can make the jump that you want to make, I would say to ask for a sign. I would say to ask for a sign from the universe. And I actually had this happen to me with a flower shop. Like, I very much use real life examples from my life because I can, relate them to you. I was at a corporate job. I could not stand it. It was not what I wanted to do. But it was, good paying. It had Monday through Friday. It had benefits. My friends worked at the same company. Like, I got to see them. Like, there were a lot of positive things to it. I was not fulfilled at all. I was not fulfilled. And what I really had come to the conclusion was that I wanted to work with flowers. I wanted to work as a floral, designer. I wanted to be able to put beautiful bouquets and creations and all this stuff together. And I remember one day, when I was not wanting to be at my job, somebody had sent some random leftover flowers from a banquet down to our office because we used to host things for physicians and whatnot. Um, and I got to play with flowers. I got to make my own little bouquet and make my own little decorations. And I remember I felt so much joy at that, and I appreciated that. And then when I left that job, I actually got a job as a floral delivery driver at a local floral shop. And it was just a way for me to be around the stuff, to learn, to see how the overall process went. And I didn't actually ever design any of the bouquets that went out. But if they got disheveled when I was delivering, I could then move them and make sure everything looked good. So I got that experience, and through just doing that small baby step, I realized that I didn't want to do that. Like, the business side of it took too much joy out of the process for me. There was a lot more stress and pressure. And the lady that I worked with, the one who did the designs, she was beautiful. She does amazing. She still does it, and she does amazing work. But the owner made it so difficult because she wouldn't have the supplies that we all needed until the day of or right before the deliveries were due. So it just put a lot of stress, and it wasn't, well organized. It wasn't being run well. And that kind of killed the joy of that for me. So I still love flowers. I'm still working with flowers, and I get to do that now because I can cast them in resin. I save them and I put them on my tea lights. I do so many things with them. So I still get that joy of working with flowers in a way that fulfills me, in a way that lights me up, but it's not my primary source of income, right? So if you are at that point where you are wanting to do something different with your life, where you are feeling like there is something in you that you have had hidden, right? And you're ready to bring it to life, then now is the time, right? Find ways to do it, even if you only do it part-time. Find a way to volunteer your time in that department or in that field, right? So that you can get the basic information. You can get the basic breakdown of how it all works, because sometimes we enjoy something and we like something, and what we think we know about it turns out to be completely different once you're on the inside. So if there's something that's drawing to you, if you feel like I've always wanted to do this thing, then do this thing. If you've always wanted to be a painter but you don't know how, to me, that tells you that you have that inspiration, that you have that connection to source where you could be very artistic. You could be very divinely guided to create art that is meaningful and that can change lives and can help people, with their spirits. It can uplift them, or it can be something that is so expressive and just touches the core of more than just your local people, right? You can do that if you've had that drive to be a painter, to create, then I know that you have a connection with that source energy that flows through you. And all it takes is the act of um, growing your talents, learning the skill. So you may not have any skill in this lifetime, right? But it doesn't mean you can't learn, right? Look up a local class, look up a YouTube video. Geez, you can do anything now with the internet, right? You don't even have to leave your home if you don't feel like it. You can order art supplies off of Amazon, have them delivered to your door, get on YouTube and find some basic videos, and then there you start going, right? So like for me, I love to do different artistic things, but I'm not that great at all of them yet, but I keep trying, because eventually you get into a groove and you learn from your mistakes, and then you realize, okay, if I do it this way, that's going to happen, and I don't want that, so I'll try it a different way. For me, one of the main things that I've been doing lately is sewing. Literally sewing. I, purchased a new sewing machine last year, and I've been putting it to use, and it's been over 20 years since I last sewed, so there's been a learning curve. I have had to take my time and learn how to stitch straight again and watch videos on how to thread my bobbin, because it's a digital machine, so it's completely different. But I didn't let that intimidate me to the point where I didn't want to try. I still see so many wonderful fabrics and prints on things that I'm like, oh, I need that. I need to make this with that fabric, and it'll be so cute and I will love it. And that is the inspiration that I'm talking about. Like when I get those hits of inspiration, I'm like, oh, yes, let's do it. My problem is I have so many different projects started all at once, and I like to float through them as I feel inspired to do. So I have to tell myself, okay, yes, it's adorable. Yes, you can do it. But first you need to finish this, and this. But if you just have the one thing you want to go for, then go for it. And I do like the idea of public classes, of going somewhere and learning something, because there's that opportunity to meet and connect with other people who have the same interest, people who maybe are farther along in their journey, who can impart to you valuable advice, right? Which is what I feel like I'm doing here, right? This is a spiritual awakening series. I feel like I have been on this path for a long time, and I can tell you that it does not stop. You just continue to level up. I've had a quiet couple of days here myself, because there have been some issues that have resurfaced for me that I needed time to really feel through, to really process through, to really get my head wrapped around, so that I can continue on my journey, continue on my path forward. And I don't want you to feel like when you get through one dark night of the soul, like that's it, you're done. You could be, if that's where you decided to, stop if that's where you want to plateau. But for the most part, you just keep getting brought more clarity, and you get clarity through successfully. I don't want to say completing missions, but essentially, right, there are lessons that have to be learned, and once you learn it for the final time, then you get that overall clarity, and you understand why you did or didn't do something incorrectly all this time before. And it's never fun. It's never easy. It's usually hard lessons that we're talking about here that keep resurfacing. And it's okay. It's okay, because you have all the time in the world. Okay, the time is not linear like we've been taught. There are multiple realities occurring at different dimensions and different multiverses as we speak. And so maybe in this one, you're a beginner at something you want to try. But maybe in another one, you've been doing it for 20 years and you're highly successful, and you can tap in to that frequency, to that energy of that timeline, of that reality, right? And kind of merge them and help to enhance and improve and navigate your experience in this reality. So, I would say if you have things that are hidden and things that you are specifically keeping quiet about, or you finally are realizing that the people around you just don't really know who you are because you haven't been truthful, you haven't been honest, you haven't been open, then now is the time to bring all of that authenticity, all of that vibrancy, all of that weird wonderfulness that is inside of you. Bring it to life, bring it out, let others see. And I guarantee you, when you do that, you may lose a few people who, you're right, they don't enjoy this version of you. It doesn't help them, it hinders them. You are no longer a chess piece in their reality. And so they may fall away. But the upside is you will find people who love you, who are genuinely like you, who have the same beliefs and dreams and goals, and who want to work towards the same things that you want to work towards. They want to grow the same skills that you want to grow, and y'all can communicate on such a profound level because you will find that that is a soul connection, not just a face value connection. So, whatever it is that you are hiding and have been hiding, or however you have dimmed your light in any way and made yourself gray and black and fade in, then I'm asking you to bring color back to your life. Come to life. Paint yourself vibrant. Paint yourself beautiful. Paint yourself with love. And I hope you have a great week. I'll see y'all next time.